bully block, check the pedigree. Shut it down. A better breed, it'll never be. Shut it down. We the top dogs, recognize. Shut it down. A good diet and exercise. Shut it down. This the bully block, check the pedigree. Shut it down. A better breed, it'll never be. Shut it down. We the top dogs, recognize. Shut it down. A good diet and exercise. Shut it down.
Alright, you are now tuned into the Bully Block. It's your host Kev Green along with the infamous Mr. Scrooge right here. You are now tuned into the hottest #1 source in bully entertainment.
You know what it is. It's Prez, baby. Giving a shout out to Kev Green and Bully Block. Always keeping it 100, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my dog. Salute.
What's goody, Bully Boy? It's your boy, the Bully Tunnel. Giving a big shout out to Kevin Green for showing all the love. BullyTunnelMagazine.com is where it's at.
Right here on the Bully Block with Texas Cartel's Pee-wee Razor's Edge legend.
Bitch! I don't want to do that on track.
I'm gonna show you how you motherfucking supposed to do it, young nigga. Huh. You feel me? They don't get it wrong, young nigga, money for real, nigga. You feel me? I do this shit for real, nigga. Yo, yo, yo.
This is Dave Wilson, and you're tuned into the Bully Block.
All right, here we are reporting live, Santa Clara, California. Out here in the hotel. I'm about to go down to the lobby and meet the legendary Ed Shepherd for an interview, one-on-one, candid. Live, we're down here at the Hilton, down here in the breakfast hall. I ran into the legendary Ed Shepherd right here, sitting live and direct with Ed Shepherd, live on the Bully Block, iBully Television. Thanks for tuning in. I ran into Ed. He came out here for the ABKC Nationals, and why don't you let us know a little bit about the time you had out here.
All right, first of all, you can cut that part legend off of it. It gets me real embarrassed. I had a great time down here. Good morning, everybody. We're sitting in the coffee shop here at the Hilton. We're having a breakfast, having a good time. The show yesterday, we had a fabulous time. At the show, I met a lot of people. I got to know some people I've talked to on the phone. I never met them in person. It was a real joy for me. So we had just a great show. Got to see Dave Wilson and his wife, and she's way too good looking for Dave. You'll see when you see her picture of her, you'll know why. And anyway, she is a real sweetheart, and her friends was nice too. So I had a great time at the show. There were some super dogs there, just super. I won't tell you who I think should have won, because I didn't stay to the very end. We had to take off and go to San Francisco Pier for a great dinner. So all in all, I had a super time. It's been a great trip too. And I got to meet Kevin right away when I walked in the hotel.
Yeah, it was a good experience for me, man, and I appreciate you taking your time out to talk to me here today while we're eating. And so I want you to let everybody know what you got planned in the future. I see you, posting up a few new Dax dogs here and there on Facebook, and let us know, what you got in store.
Well, the first thing I have in store is I'm a Christian, and I want to go to heaven, and the rest of it doesn't matter that much, as long as I get to heaven. Right? You're a Christian also, Kevin?
I'm a Christian as well.
Praise God, man. Good, good, good. And I hope you all out there are Christians too. If not, come talk to me. So, do you have a question? What was the question?
The question was, I see you post a lot of new Dax dogs up. Which one you got your eyes set on for?
Oh, well, a new dog I have is Baccarat. He's a 2x Dax son. Looks a lot like Dax, but he's a little shorter. And he's just under 14 inches, and I like the dog a lot. So we'll see. I'm gonna have somebody train him. I don't do the training anymore, and get him ready for the shows, and hope we can make a big splash. Have fun winning some shows.
For sure, for sure, for sure. What do you think about all the fuss about Magoo going on lately and him moving to China? You have an opinion on Magoo?
No. You know, if, how do you pronounce his name?
Bashar.
Bashar wanted to sell him, that's great. And I hope he got that money. People are always saying, I wonder, do you think he really got that money yet? I don't know. But I hope he got the money, and I hope he can handle the taxes. You know, so, but Bashar, Magoo's that's a heck of a dachshund. It's a great dog. And I like the other one that Bashar has.
Casablanca.
Yeah, you know, I can speak for myself. Casablanca. I like Casablanca. He looked great yesterday. But there were a lot of good dogs there. I'm not going to tell you my favorites, but everybody has their favorites.
All right, so the big thing is Facebook nowadays, and you got the Ed Shepherd's Dax board.
Yes.
And so I know a lot of people wonder, is that you know, when you comment on pictures, or is that somebody that just saying they're you, or what? So let's clear that up right now. Is that you?
Well, I have a friend of mine in Alaska named Clarence Nicholson, and he puts up most of the stuff on the board. But I'll send him a copy of what I want to say or not say, and then he'll put it on the board for me. So, but he doesn't speak for me. My wife does that mainly, and it's a joke. And I am married. Been married, in fact, 42 years.
Congratulations.
Just had our 42nd anniversary, and I'm quite happy with her and with life. So anyway, so the board, we have a good time on the board. I try to keep down all the troublemakers. I just ban them because I don't want to argue with people. I want to see other people's good dogs. I want to see my good dogs up there, and hopefully we can all work together and create even better bullies and have more fun.
So we're gonna go back a ways now. You know, back a while ago there was a dog. I think that started the Gotti line, Juan Gotti. Back then. Now, how did it turn into Gotti line? You know, and how did it turn into did the looks change over the years? You know, from going to, you know, the look of you know, how Juan Gotti was back when that was, into like what the Dax line is today. Like, how did it turn? Is Gotti line something different than that blood, or like is it the same, or like how does that break?
That's a good question, and it's easy to answer because I was there.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Richard Brajas owned Gotti. He bought him as a puppy from Tony Moore. I won't say anything negative. And anyway, Gotti was the best dog on the West Coast. I don't know what was on the East Coast in those days, but that was a terrific dog. But he was more like the old-time pit bulls. He's kind of some kind of had something else in there, I think. But he was a really beautiful dog, and the most beautiful head I had seen at the time, and he was structurally sound. And he was very popular. And a lot of that had to do because of Richard Brajas' charisma, his personality. He's quite a charming guy, and a little loco, but charming. And I was driving down the freeway with my wife one day, and we were trying to say, well, we're talking about what name should we pick for our kennel. And we didn't have a name, didn't have a website. And my wife said to me, why don't we use the name Gotti line, because we just bred 5 bitches to him. So that was a lot. So, and Richard was, what was his name? His West End Kennels or something, or West Side Kennels. So he didn't use Gotti line in those days. Then about 3 months later, Richard started using Gotti line. But I named my dog after Gotti himself, which was spelled, some illiterate person spelled it G-O-T-T-Y. Okay. So I spelled it G-O-T-T-Y line. Then Richard, somebody told Richard, that's misspelled and it's a really good idea, so you ought to use it, Richard. And so he's got it G-O-T-T-I-L-I-N-E. Okay. Which is really, sounds better to me, looks better to me. So that's how the name came up. And there's some other part of the question.
The other part was how did the dogs start to evolve looks from that to what they is
well,
today?
I'll say this about Gotti. You know, he was a super dog I didn't think, well, let me just say that none of the puppies that I got out of Gotti were worth keeping. I got rid of all of them. And things really changed for us when I bought Blackjack. We bought 21 Blackjack, we bought Black Ace. He had some gangster name, Black Ace did. I don't like that gangster stuff. So, we changed his name to Black Ace, which is a great name, especially Blackjack and Black Ace. They're brothers, goes together. Then I used to be real close friends with Mike Wallander of Michael and Kennels, and we never had any split up or argument. He just moved to Texas, that's all. And so then I bought Les Blue, brothers to Blackjack, and he bought Moo Moo. Was it Moo Moo? Troubles. I think it's Troubles, another sister. So we had 4 adult dogs we bought off of that one litter. And that was what started everything for me. That changed everything. And I found that if I inbred Blackjack or even line-bred Blackjack, the dogs got smaller and thicker. Blackjack was 17 inches and we had him up to 110 pounds at one time. So that's a pretty big dog, but that's the old days. You know, and doggers were bigger then. So that was, he became a champion, even with me handling. And it made things real good for us, real good. And then later on, of course, we bred down and we ended up getting Dax. And Dax is, of course, the premier dog. The premier dog of my kennel.
Let me ask you a little bit. I heard somewhat of a story about how you got Dax and how Dax came about in your life.
How I got Dax is I bred Romeo to Barbie.
I heard you prayed for.
Oh, well, yeah, that story. Okay,
Yeah,
and this is a true story too.
Sorry about here.
We lost 21 Blackjack, and so I was a little upset about that, obviously. And so whenever it looked like we had nothing going for us, so I thought, well, I better start talking to Jesus. And I did. I started talking to Jesus, I was praying, and I said, God, would you, this next litter I have coming, could you give me the top show dog in the country? Could you give me the best producing dog for American bullies in history? And then I thought, well, that's kind of a lot to ask, you know, kind of like selfish or something. And then I thought, well, so I said, well, just give me a champion dog. And then I changed my mind again. I thought, well, now if I'm going to ask you for something, I'm going to ask you for what I want, not just for something good.
Right.
So here come the puppies, and here came Dax, and I couldn't get a more spectacular dog than Dax. He's done a lot for us. He's changed the look of the American bully. We think we saw that yesterday at the shows.
Yes.
And I mean, but he's not the only one that produced good dogs. There are other dogs that did good productions. But I think that Dax was the greatest producer of American bullies in history.
What do you think about some of the, I see a lot of people using Dax's name, you know, just to sell their puppies, and they say 5 times, 10 times Dax, and the puppy doesn't look like the dog that they're trying to sell is tall and lanky and everything. Like, what do you think about like the wrong kind of dogs representing Dax line, or like how do you feel about that? Or
I don't
care or no?
I'm not really too concerned about it, because people are going to say what they want to say. You know, I can't be, every time I see some pup I don't like, then they say it's 10 times Dax, whatever. You know, I'm not going to call them up and say, I don't believe you, you're a liar. I'm not doing that stuff, you know.
Right.
But there are occasions when I see a puppy that I don't believe is down from Dax. Dax has a very distinct look about him, and so does his get. But when people outcross, and make the wrong selection on their puppies and so forth, well, they're going to end up with inferior dogs, But I've never had that problem with my Dax puppies.
All right, well, since we're here, man, and we'll try to avoid that, why don't you let them know the formula, man? What mixes good with Dax? What should they not, or we'll put it this way, what should they not mix with Dax?
All right, I'll put it this way. The thing to do before you breed dogs, pray, man. Get right with Jesus.
Right.
It'll change your whole life. It'll change your program. It'll change everything. God loves to bless us. So let him bless us. Get involved. Become a friend of Jesus. That's my formula.
That's the formula.
I'm not that smart. People think I'm some kind of genius with a secret formula. I'm not a genius. Although my wife thinks so. She'll hate that. And get involved with Jesus. Try to do the right thing. Try to help other people if you can, the best you can. And I'm not saying, be perfect, because Christians are not perfect. I'm a prime example of that. But I'm trying. Get involved, man. Go to church. Get to know Jesus.
All right. You hear it right here on the Bully Block and iBully TV. So, the kennels that you have at your house, how many dogs do you got at home right now?
Oh, we have about 15 dogs right now, which is plenty. I don't want any more than that. In fact, I just sold 3 dogs, well, 2 puppies and one of my bitches. I just sold them to a man called Ife. He's from Africa. Really good, nice guy. I forget where he lives in Texas. He's from Texas. And we have a litter coming right now out of, what's the dog's name? Oh, Louis V. We have a litter coming right now out of Louis V. And a new Dax daughter I have, a blue Dax daughter, real badass. And I'm expecting some terrific pups. The sonogram said she had 6 or 7 pups. And so those would be, I think, 4 times Dax. Interesting point on the on Dax is when we started, when he was in the litter, actually the litter was not very consistent. So I thought to myself, well, he's beautiful. I don't think he's going to be a great producer. Wow, was I wrong again? And I expect the litter to be excellent out of this breeding. Louis V and Blue. The bitch's name is Blue. I was at the vet and they asked me, what's her name? What's her name? And I hadn't named her yet. And I couldn't think of a name, so I just said Blue, which used to be a really popular name. Still is, really. I like it. Yeah. So I'm happy with the name. And I expect those to be some really great puppies.
All right. Friend of mine, I'm from the Midwest. I come from Wisconsin.
Okay.
And a good friend of mine's out there, Alex Ferraro. He has Lucky Luciano. What's your, since I got you on here, why don't you give me a little rundown on how you feel about Lucky Lou and how Alex got Lucky Lou?
Lucky Luciano is great. He's a great dog. He's one of the best Dax sons. I saw a video of him the other day when the man was throwing some ball or something, and the dog took off running through water and running way down the field and getting his ball, wherever it was, and running back. I mean, that's just a great dog, man. That's a great dog. In fact, Mike, who just left us to get more food, Mike Mesa and George Aguilar, those are the 2 guys that bred him. And then they sold him off as puppies. Not real bright move. But no one ever accused him of being smart. So, but Lucky's a great dog.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for doing that. I'm sure Alex will appreciate that. Any other, Mike too. Any other things you want to let everybody know before we wrap it up?
No, I'm just I'm 70 years old now. Been married 42 years, and I'm a Christian, and I have a good life. What a great life it is. I'm sitting here in this luxury hotel with my friends and with you, doing this interview and having a great breakfast. And I just want to say God bless everybody, and hope everybody does great. I'm rooting for you.
All right, one thing. All right, so all right, well,
that's it.
That's it.
Well, let me say this, Kevin. Thank you very much for the interview. I'm glad that I met you walking in the door here at the Hilton, and hope we're going to be good friends in the future.
For sure, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is the one and only Ed Shepherd right here on the Bully Block, iBully Television. Catch you next time.